Good, happy Thursday morning. It is Thursday, October 17, 2024. I'm Riley King. Welcome to Riley's Kingdom of News right here on WRMK News Radio. We have a jam-packed broadcast to get to this Thursday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, Sanborn arrested, charged with felony theft by description. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
And this is also breaking right now. Former State Senator Andy Sanborn has been arrested and charged with felony theft by deception. Sanborn owns Concord Casino. The Attorney General's office alleges that he misrepresented the casino's income to get about $188,000 in COVID relief money, more than he should have. Prosecutors have previously alleged that he used the money on personal items like luxury cars. The state lottery has already suspended his license to operate that casino.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Sununu says September revenue dipped doesn't mean state needs to tap into the rainy day fund. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
State House, key players in the budget process are still trying to read the tea leaves on the declining revenue numbers announced in September, when the state took in $27.9 million less than it expected.
What we saw in September was that estimates for the third quarter for corporations were down from the prior year. Proprietorships and partnerships, their estimates were actually up.
Those September revenues were down year to year by 12.4%.
When you see that, you think, well, what's going to happen next month, the next quarter? Where are we headed?
At today's Executive Council meeting, Councilor Joe Kenny asked the state treasurer how much New Hampshire has in its rainy day fund. The answer, $292.2 million. But that line of inquiry prompted Governor Chris Sununu to step in.
I just want anyone to think we're not paying our bills or we have any. 1 month does not dictate where we are.
The state treasurer also suggested it's too soon for officials to be thinking about hitting the panic button.
The rainy day fund will have to be a significant, a deficit at the end of the biennium. Revenues coming a lot shorter than planned.
Many lawmakers here do expect the next budget to be a tough one, but the governor believes the money the state needs will be there.
There's no issue of tapping into the rainy day fund. There's no issue with revenues. We had this last year. We had great surpluses. I think we had one down month. There's a variety of reasons for that. We're still very strong, and our business is going very, very strong here. And so, there shouldn't. And I kind of jumped in on the conversation because I didn't want anything to be misinterpreted. Revenues are still going to keep coming in strong. I have no doubt about that.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. New Hampshire Governor cheers big foliage crowd. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Crowds of tourists surged into New Hampshire over the long weekend, taking in the natural beauty, even if it meant being shoulder to shoulder with their fellow man rather than Mother Nature. For some, it was too much, but Governor Chris Sununu says the crowds should be celebrated, not criticized.
New Hampshire's a tourism state. Bring us your crowds. We can handle it. Any idea that things are chaotic or unsafe, I don't buy that at all. Were trails crowded? Absolutely they were. It's the busiest weekend of the year. It's one of the best weekends that we have here.
Sununu was particularly upset by the idea that parking might have to be more controlled by the state in some locations to limit overcrowding. He says that's not going to happen. And as for the additional rescues of unprepared tourists,
we did have search and rescues this weekend. Had nothing to do with crowd size.
Sununu says he's open to ideas that can improve the tourist experience, but he thinks the best solution might be to make sure that the tourists who do come to the busiest attractions know about other locations they can visit and enjoy around the state.
This is us. This is who we are. This is a huge product of what we provide and what we sell, and I'm so proud of it. And just anyone implying that we can't handle it is just absolutely ridiculous.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And feel free to weigh in on any of the stories that we have. Email us at rknetwork1995@gmail.com. That is rknetwork1995@gmail.com. We want to hear your thoughts on the revenue that dips and the big fall foliage crowds as well. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think it's good or bad? Let us know. Weigh in right now. New Hampshire Supreme Court justice charged with interference in criminal investigation. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Yeah, Marissa, Steve, Hans Marconi was put on leave in late July with no explanation why, and now prosecutors with the Attorney General's office are accusing her of trying to interfere with a criminal investigation into her husband, handing down these charges just this afternoon. Among the indictments, Hans Marconi allegedly tried to, quote, solicit influence from people with political power. Those requests regarding the investigation into her husband, Gino Marconi, on leave as director of New Hampshire's Port Authority. Governor Chris Sununu and Steve Dupree, the chair of the Peace Development Authority, are named directly. Assistant professor at the University of New Hampshire's School of Law, Daniel Pye, says charges like these could erode trust in the justice system.
Anytime something like this happens, it's sort of a blow to the public confidence in the judiciary and our public institutions, because you see someone who's abusing their power.
In a statement from Hans Marconi's lawyers, they say the justice didn't violate any laws and will fight the charges, starting with filing motions to dismiss the case soon. The details of the separate investigation into Gino Marconi are unknown. In a separate statement, Attorney General John Formella says in part, the decision to charge a sitting justice of the New Hampshire Supreme Court was not made lightly, and it comes after careful and thoughtful deliberation. It is my hope that the public will be reassured that all individuals, including public officials, are treated equally under the law. Pye adds transparency in the case also extends to the Attorney General's office.
If they want to be clean, they should be more public about what it is that she supposedly did and what her conflicts of interest are and what those conversations were supposedly meant to accomplish.
Now, we did reach out to the Port Authority after those indictments were handed down, and they say right now they have no comment on the situation. Live from Concord, John Schoenheiter, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. First District candidates meet on the debate stage and express the need for bipartisan. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
To Commitment 2024 tonight, a former state senator and an incoming congressman going head-to-head at St. Anselm College over what they think is best for New Hampshire's 1st District. Democrat Chris Pappas and Republican Russell Prescott meeting for a congressional debate at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics less than 3 weeks now from Election Day. Both served together on the Executive Council for 2 years and underline the theme of collaboration between parties.
We should be able to come together and solve problems. This is about how we create an economy that works for everyone, how we respect people's differences and personal freedoms and ensure that everyone has opportunity.
I have the support and also the reputation of reaching across the aisle, getting work done for the people of New Hampshire. I plan on doing that when I get there.
Other big topics the candidates discussed included immigration and the cost of housing.
Okay, and there you go on those reports. Feel free to weigh in on the New Hampshire Supreme Court justice that is charged with interference, and also on the 2 1st District candidates as well. Email us your thoughts and opinions on those right now at rknetwork1995@gmail.com. That is rknetwork1995@gmail.com. Biden administration takes action to make it easier to cancel subscriptions. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know. Email us right now, sending your thoughts and opinions right now at rknetwork1995@gmail.com. Let's take a listen to the report from NBC News.
Consumer advocates call it the loop of doom, the endless runaround that comes when trying to cancel gym memberships, streaming services, or online subscriptions that customers no longer want, with some folks venting on TikTok.
The amount of prompts. Are you sure you want to cancel? Are you sure you don't want $10 off? How about 30% off? How about instead of $80, it's $20? How about no, I hit the cancel button?
Velko Maluznik says quitting shouldn't be so hard.
They're doing every possible thing to just hold on, and you're just like, no, we're done. You're trying to just push them off of you. It does feel like they're like clinging to your body.
The Federal Trade Commission says it's received 16,000 complaints and counting from consumers who feel tricked and trapped.
The principle here is quite basic. No American should be stuck paying for a service that they no longer want.
Today, the FTC announced new consumer protection rules requiring companies to provide customers with a simple mechanism to cancel a subscription and halt charges, and obtain a customer's informed consent to the negative option, which assumes customer silence means they want to continue with their plan.
Companies have to make it as easy to cancel the subscription as it is to sign up for one.
This is crazy. This is insane.
And illegal. The tougher rules take effect in 6 months with thousands of dollars in penalties. Lester?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Biden, Obama, Clinton honor Ethel Kennedy. Let's take a listen to that report from CBS News.
Ethel Kennedy was remembered today here in Washington as a champion for human rights and as a fireball of continuous energy. 3 Democratic presidents attended her memorial: Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton. The widow of Robert F. Kennedy died last week at 96 years old, the head of a family that includes 34 grandchildren and 24 great-grandchildren. President Biden spoke of how Mrs. Kennedy reached out when his first wife and daughter were killed in a car accident, and then again when his son Beau died. Ethel Kennedy will be buried next to her husband at Arlington National Cemetery.
Okay, and there you go on that report. That is for this edition of Riley's Kingdom of News, right here on WRMK News Radio. Thank you for tuning in and listening, and have a fantastic Thursday. Goodbye, everyone.